Hi class, I know many of you wrote to me that you were struggling with the week one assignment, so I just wanted to go through it with you quickly, give you some pointers, and make sure that we are all on the same page. So the first thing you need to do, let me just make sure I'm still recording this. I don't know, just make it a little bit bigger. The first thing you need to do is come to page 1 of your textbook in the green section of Excel, Understanding Spreadsheet Software. There's nothing for you to do here. Just look through, read the chapter. It's all about entering data. The real work starts on page 4 where it tells you to locate data file 1-1. That can be done within week 1. Here is our data files right here in week 1. You download it, open it, and the first thing it wants you to do is to save it. So File, Save As. You can choose wherever you'd like. I'm going to put it on my desktop. It wants me to save it as Project Leader Payroll Calculator. Okay. Next, click File, Save As, okay, and then click cell A4, A1, 2, 3, A5, 4, okay. Click cell 5B, just reading through page 4 quick, B5. Press and hold the mouse to B14. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We just want to highlight it all. Okay, then release the mouse button. Okay, then it flips over to page 6 and it says click E5. So we come over here to E5. The active cell contains a formula which appears right here in E5. You see the formula B5 times D5. So it's the hours times hourly rate, which will give us the pay. All the Excel formulas begin with the equal sign. If you want a cell to show the results of adding 4 plus 2, the formula cell would look like this. And this just gives you a little information. I'm reading step 1 on page 6. Step 2, click cell EF5. This cell contains an example of a more complex formula which calculates overtime pay at R2G. Overtime pay is calculated at twice the regular hour rate and the number of overtime hours. So that is why you can put the parentheses, and from you guys that remember math in high school, you do everything in the parentheses first and then what is outside. So it's going to do 2 times D5, whatever that answer is, then times C5. Again, please don't get stressed out about the math. Just want to make you aware of it. So I've now moved to page 8 and it says click cell A15, and remember you can see right here, and it might get lost a little bit in this is where it'll tell you your actual cells. Type totals, then hit the enter button on the formula bar. Clicking the enter button accepts the entry. This new text is left aligned, okay, and then it wants you to click B15. You want this cell to the total hours worked. So there's a couple of different ways to do this, but the one I'm going to do is sum, and then I'm going to add all of these together, and I'm going to hit enter. So again, my formula then looks like this, equals sum B5 to B14. So add all of these together, which is great. It also shows you that you can click on each one manually in the textbook. It also then talks about click the auto sum button in the editing group on the home ribbon. That will do the same thing. Remember we went over that in class. That'll allow you to add everything together. It says click C13, type 6, and hit enter. Click C18. Let's see here, C18, then type average gross pay, then hit enter. Click cell B15. Again, I am on step 8 on page 8. I'm going to go a little bit fast. This is just supposed to be a review for you after you try this yourself if you get stuck. Click cell B15. All right, we are on B15. Position the pointer in the lower right-hand corner of the cell. In the fill handle, it moves to the dark plus sign. And then drag this over it's copying the sum formula we did, so it's adding this column and then this column and this column and that column to G15, then leave the mouse. So you can see that the sum formula has now been copied over to each section. I will go ahead and hit File, Save, and then I can move to page 10. It says on the top of page 10, click cell A5, the 40, then click to the right of the P in the formula bar. So write P in the formula bar. Quick access. Checkbox. Oh, insert. Oh, that's what to the right for Peter. Okay. Press delete. So his name is spelled wrong. So they just want it to say Peter. Enter bar. Click cell B6. So we're over here now. Then press F2, which I actually don't have because I am on a Mac, so I don't really have the functions. Excel switches to edit mode, and the insertion point blinks in the cell. Press F2 activates the cell for editing directly in the cell instead of the formula bar. So no big deal if you don't have an F2. You can always edit right up here in the formula bar. Press the backspace. So Lucia is now going to have, instead of a 35, change it to 38 hours. And B7 becomes, okay. Click A9, so we're down here in A9, then double click the word Juan in the formula bar and type Javier and press enter. Double click cell C12, okay. Press delete. 4. So all we're doing on this page is editing cells and editing the data. Again, it wants us to hit save. So there's another option. You can hit save here in the quick access toolbar, or you can do it on the top. We are rocking and rolling, guys. We are now on to page 12. It says click G5 right here for his gross pay. Then type the equal sign. Click on E5, so the 670. And then it wants you to type the plus symbol and then click on F5. Remember, we went over this in class that we want to click on the cells, not manually type in what is in the cell. Hit enter. Click cell C5. The formula in the cell calculates over time. Okay, so that is the formula in the cell calculates overtime multiplying times twice the regular 2D5. You want to edit this formula to reflect a new overtime pay rate. Click to the right of the 2, okay? In the formula bar, then type 0.5. So 2.5 instead of just 2, so they're getting a little bit of an upgrade in pay. And then you can go ahead and hit enter. And we can make sure, look, guys, the ones below it have not been updated, so I'm sure it's going to tell us later on to drag and drop it down. All right. Click the View tab in the ribbon. We have now moved to page 14, almost done with assignment 1. Click the page layout. Make sure I save my work. Page layout, okay. In the workbook views, move the pointer over the head without clicking, okay. Click the left header text box, okay. So left header text box, reasons to go, okay. Click the center text head box, type project leader payroll calculator. I am on page 14, step 3, and in the right type week 35. Okay. Select the range A1-G1, then press delete. A1 to G1, so everything that's right up here on the top to G1, then press delete, so that'll all go away. Click the View tab if necessary. Click the ruler checkbox to show the grid lines in the checkbox show group. Okay, we already have that. The ruler and grid lines both are turned on. Click the page break preview button on the status bar, normal page break preview, so that shows exactly where our text is. Drag the pointer from the bottom page break indicator to go to the bottom of row 20. Okay, so we'll drag this down so it shows us a few more rows they want there. Click the page layout in the workbook view, click the ruler checkbox in the show. Okay, and save our work. We are now moving on to page 16 and 17, which are the last pages of our work for assignment 1. This is all about printing, and you actually don't need to print. So you guys will be, I'm going to go back to our normal view. So this is actually what you will turn into me in Moodle for part 1. Okay? Your next assignment can be found in Moodle, and it tells us for our second assignment, because there's 3 this week. I know there's a lot, but I just did that first one for us. Next one is Skills Review 19 through 20. And then our third one is IC Independent Challenges 1, 2, pages 21 and 22. I might have to do that in a second video because I only get 15 minutes. Well, let's see if I can fit in our skills review. Page 19, understanding spreadsheet software. We know how to do that. So it says open 1-2, which again will go to the data files. Okay, 1-2 is right here. We're going to download it, file open, where it says store this as weather data. All right, so files, save as, no problem. We are saving this one as, instead of this, weather data. Save. Locate the formula bar, which we know how to do, which is right up here at the top. What is the average high temperature of the city? So we need to do the average high temperature. Okay. So it says hint, select the ranges B5 through G5 on the status bar. So average B5, which is not this one, that's B4. All right, so we need the average here. Looks like I'll put it here. Average is another formula, and we want B5 through G5. We're looking for the average temperature, which is 82 degrees. What formula would you create to calculate the difference in altitude between Atlanta and Dallas? Enter your answer as an equation in cell D3. So we want to do D13, okay? And if you guys look, the answer is on page 20, and the answer is 620. So they want to know the altitude difference between Atlanta minus Dallas. So this should equal 620. Perfect, okay? And I'm checking our average that we came up with for the last step against figure 120 on page 20, and the answer is 82, so that works out great. Now I'm on step 4. It says click cell H, all right, 8. So let's keep going down to 8H, perfect. Then use the auto sum button to calculate total snowfall. All right, so I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. We are looking for our auto sum, which is right here. Auto sum, and I want the auto sum, I want to know equals sum of all of these. Snow in inches, 79. 32. So let's see, it might make us change our answer. Click the cell H7, then use auto sum for total rainfall. All right, sum total rainfall. Cool, 183. All right, save your changes to your file. Now on to step 5. Use F2 to correct the spelling of Santa Fe in cell G3. Okay, so the correct spelling of Santa Fe has a space. So Santa Fe, I'm thinking what it wants us to do is that. So what I did is I'm just referencing a cell and it's pulling in the text, okay, for Santa Fe. Click cell A17, type your name, Katie O'Connor, save your changes. Okay, enter and edit a sample formula. Change the value 41 in cell C8. C8. And guys, I might run out of time. It might cut me off in 2 minutes, but the rest of this is just editing data, and you don't need to